Hello. Monday night. Man, what a day. Today sucked. God, I didn't get anything done that I wanted to. Everything was fighting me. Um, just a typical Monday. Well, let's talk about CPS for a second. Hey, well, who we have here is this is my dog Rex. Rex is actually Jackson's dog. Rex. He's not used to being in the truck. Rex has a really good personality. He is a really loving dog, probably about 40 pounds. Looks kind of like a Rottie, but I can tell you what, he's not a Rottie. But let me tell you, Rex was the focus of a CPS investigation, another false allegation made by the ex. I've been getting a lot of people reaching out and been seeing a lot of these false allegations made by CPS. You know, CPS shouldn't be called Child Protective Services. It should be called something along the lines of Caregiver Prosecutorial Services, where they just take false allegations, prosecute the parent that they feel like they want to prosecute for whatever based on false allegations, and they don't keep families together. They take families apart. And my ex, again, not a nice individual, Stacy, and not just Stacy. Going back to 2016, going back 11 years now, 10 years, she has been filing and filed CPS cases religiously, starting with the county of Marinette. And I didn't even find out about that until probably, I don't know, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. I didn't find out about it up until Rex here. Rex. Good boy. I didn't find out about it until we had a little accident where Rex gets a little jumpy from time to time, and he's a very excitable dog. And he happened to accidentally jump on Jackson before school one day, and his claw or nail or whatever caught Jackson in the face, had a minor scratch. But guess what the gaslighting narcissistic ex did? Stacy had the balls to call Brown County at that point and file, I think this was number 18 or 19 in the CPS cases between Marinette County and Brown. And I was finally contacted. Now that's the interesting thing, because it took 18 or 19 CPS cases filed, and they were filed by Stacy and her mother Sally. If that tells you anything, the grandparents have not had clean hands in this thing going all the way back to the beginning of this divorce, and that just shows the bullshit that I've had to put up with. But 18 or 19 CPS cases were filed, and guess what happened with each and every one of those? It wasn't like the ones that I heard in Michigan where they contact the parents right away after something's filed, and then they do an investigation, and then they talk to both sides, possibly rule things out. No. Matt didn't get contacted by CPS until number 19 or 18 or 19, and it was Brown County that initiated it, because that's where my ex absconded to illegally and against Wisconsin statute. And it was all over this guy. This guy is the alleged vicious Rottweiler that Stacy stated to the doctor at Bellin and to the CPS agent that he attacked him, bit him, dug his teeth way down. I'd have to get the report to go through the details, but it was pretty bad. And let me tell you, there's a lot of my friends and customers that have seen and known Rex. He is not a vicious dog. Vader, protective dog, the one I had to put down, but he wasn't even vicious. I've had dogs my entire life, and just bullshit that CPS is involved, and I don't find out about it until number 18 or 19, and we're still going through court. And then I started digging. Well, guess what? When Brown County contacted me, I started asking I was pissed. As any parent would be. You get false allegations slapped against you, and you're wondering what the hell I did. They won't tell you anything. They're asking a bunch of questions. They wanted to send somebody up. I'm like, I have a lawyer. Contact my lawyer. They wouldn't listen. And they're like the Gestapo. That's what attorney Kim Coggin said. They're the Gestapo when it comes to things, and they just do whatever the hell they want. Well, After a bunch of phone calls, traded emails, me being defiant, I finally listened to the attorney, and I was like, well, I got nothing to hide, so let him come. Well, they sent a CPS agent from Marinette County, Tiffany Lindbaum. Some people out there probably know that name. She was very nice. She came into my home, met my dogs, met with me and my son, went through the house, asked my son what the matter was really about, and it wasn't about the vicious dog. Then it became known that there was an alleged spanking that happened, which was, again, false allegations. My narcissistic, scorned ex put my kid through a forensic interview over an alleged spanking that didn't happen. Tiffany asked him point blank here, well, how does dad discipline you? What goes on? Jackson was very honest. Going to bed early, getting the iPad taken away if he's acting out, stuff like that. Nothing about a spanking came out. End of the day, even after bucking Brown County and pissing them off, because again, I shouldn't have to justify myself, especially after 18 unsubstantiated CPS allegations were ruled out without even contacting me, come to find out. It's bullshit. And they're not there to protect the kid or protect the home. They're just there to aid a narcissistic, gaslighting individual in trying to break up a family, which is ultimately what happened. Because where's my son? Where's my son, Goldman? Where's my son, Calgren? Where's my son, Marinette County? Yeah, we all know that story. At least me and you guys do. But she never had to answer for all these unsubstantiated CPS reports. And it doesn't always go that way for parents out there. And it's bullshit, because it's weaponized against a good parent. I am a good parent. I was a good parent. I love my son. Rex and Jackson were inseparable. Guess what? Now he gets to miss out on his own dog growing up. Missed out on me putting down Vader. But the CPS bullshit is bullshit. Again, that case was strongly unsubstantiated by I think it was Sandra something or other from Brown County. And the funny thing is, when it came to CPS and I started asking questions, I immediately asked for copies of reports and previous reports. You know what Brown County told me? Yeah, this will be interesting. Another violation of my rights in this country and as a father. They told me there's no way to get those. Those are all private. You can't ask for those. I had 2 agents from Brown County telling me that, and that's bullshit. It wasn't until I met Tiffany Lindbaum up in Marinette County, and she came out here, and I allowed them to come to my home and see Jackson, and everything was fine. They wrote a nice report, strongly unsubstantiated everything, said dad and son had a strong bond together, which is true. But then I asked Tiffany about that, and she was kind enough to give me FOIA requests, Freedom of Information Act requests for the records and all that stuff, and helped me fill them out, directed me where to send them. Brown County flat out fucking lied to me, violated my rights, because I as a parent have every right to see those files, hands down, especially when they're false allegations made. And time again, I have submitted those over 20-some CPS reports to Marinette County Family Court System and all this nonsense going on. Do you think Calgren? Do you think Commissioner Evans? Do you think Miller or Sequin when she was on the bench? Do you think any one of those judges or commissioners paid attention to that bullshit or that absolutely disgraceful fucking acts of a alleged parent from Stacy? No, they haven't. And that's bullshit, because she gets away with it time and time again. And again, when I say unsubstantiated, that means they didn't find anything. In fact, 99.9% of those CPS cases ruled out by phone. They ruled them out by phone because you read the report, they called Stacy and Sally out for the bullshit that it was, especially when it started with my girlfriends I was dating after the divorce. She called CPS on. She's called CPS on an alleged bee sting. And then I started to see that in the medical file. She called CPS over bruises and stuff like that. The dog, bruises from a kid, a boy, being a boy. Not knowing what's going on in my home, not being up here stalking me. That's all the type of shit that she did. And it's crap, because you know what? My main question to CPS, and I took this right to the director, tried filing a response, tried filing a grievance. They don't fucking care. In my book, after 23, whatever CPS CPS cases are unsubstantiated, and they keep getting calls from the parent, do you think the sheriff in Marinette County would finally say enough is enough and be like, hey, maybe we should prosecute the mother? That's what should have happened. Do you think CPS should come along and maybe they should prosecute the mother? I think so. I think there's a lot of fucking piece of shit individuals out there using CPS in the system and trying to take good parents out of children's lives, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit because I've dealt with it firsthand. And again, calling over my girlfriends, shit you don't even know about, just making lies up. And I know that was Sally. I know that was the grandmother early. Calling about my dogs. It wasn't just Rex they called on. They called about my other dog, Eva, before I put her down, the pit bull. Most loving dog you'd ever meet. Just bullshit. And I'll get into these CPS things. I'm going to go through these reports and I'm going to start naming names, putting details out there. This is BS because I've had, since I mentioned about class action lawsuit, federal court, Marinette County, CPS, child support, they all need to answer. And it needs to start with putting their foot down, and they need to stop fucking harassing good parents doing a good job, because the people that know me know me. And fucking calling a CPS report over a goddamn good fun-loving dog like Rex here that wouldn't hurt a fucking fly, that's not even a Rottweiler. He may look like one, but he ain't. He's a mutt. Is bullshit. It's gaslighting, it's against the law, and it's fucking bullshit. And that type of shit needs to stop. So I'll leave it at that for now, but we are definitely gonna keep this thing going. And I am going to be mentioning the things that she has done and said coming up, because there's a lot of interesting stuff in there. But guess what? Never happens. When they're unsubstantiated, they never get held accountable. Make it a good night.